and Matteo Penzo, co-founder and CEO of zick. Welcome. English. Okay, so Matteo, we just heard about two key points. One was who delivers the training and how this training is delivered. And the second one was where and what is the environment. There is one more point that we need to touch, which is time, which I think is key. So my question for you is, how do you think companies can make times for employees' education?
Well, my answer is very simple, and I think they can't. They have been trying for the past 10 years, and they tried everything. If you think about standard e-learning, and you look at market data, 95% of standard e-learning fails. So it's a way they have been using to try to create time for their employees to be trained, but they're not learning. They're not completing their courses. But then, as an employee, I think it's your right to learn, not just to be trained, but to learn. And if it's the right of the employees to learn, then it becomes an obligation for the employer to make them learn. And another interesting data, again, rolling back to what I was saying at the beginning of my sentence about standard e-learning, which is based on a computer, sitting on a desk, connected to Wi-Fi, well, 80% of the global workforce is deskless. So how can you fit standard learning strategies for this population and think about the low-skilled learners of the gig economy? Think about agents on the field. Think about a very specific example. I have been speaking with global organizations of mines. So think about the miners. How can you train the miners? I mean, these are people who are just being skipped from training. So, but again, obviously, I want to say that there is a solution. I believe there is a solution. And again, it's a solution where technology comes to help. But also science comes to help, and learning science comes to help. And if you think about the theories of microlearning and spaced learning, which simply put because of time, again, are the best way for our brain to memorize content and keep it in our memory for the longest period of time possible. And then if you find a way to deliver these micro pills of learning content into the pockets of your learners, independently on where they are, maybe they're with Simone on a nice beach in the southern Spain, then you think that you're not creating time, but you're leveraging the pockets, the small pockets of time, and it can be mere minutes. You're leveraging the small pocket of times that everybody has.
Thank you. Thank you. I love the fact that we are talking about, designing disruptive and creative learning experience. And we just heard from you that you can't just think about one factor. You have to think about multiple factors. And I think what is amazing is that we have startups like yours that are actually focusing on one of those factors and really creating solutions.